friends don't even come around here anymore because, well, my views on this, I guess.
Yeah. I'm gonna do one thing here. I just stopped my clip on my video, so I gotta mark this one thing. There we go. So, I mean, what are your thoughts from here on out? Do you think they'll ever, do you think they'll ever find Megan?
I really don't. There's so many places down here in Quivira, they're 13-inch cased wells that are unmarked, and he knew Quivira like the back of his hand,
Yeah.
and they're 900 feet deep, and they're by the hundreds down there. And you find them by falling into them, basically.
Sure.
And I think she's somewhere like that there. I don't know.
I mean, there are people, you said you've looked for her.
Yeah, I've lived over 700 hours for her. I went through 7 axles on just because I'm the last person that she was counting on to find her, I think, or to let people know that this is happening. Because I remember I even told the police that night, I said, she's counting on me because I'm the only one that knows what happened here. And they wouldn't believe me. And they won't put any kind of money out towards searching.
Yeah.
No, towards searching for funds to search. They sent 30 people out here when I burnt a car tire. They sent 30 people. And I complained to them so much that, you send 30 people for a tire fire, but for a missing person, possibly a dead body, you won't send one person out here. And they left. They wouldn't even talk to me after that. They came back out here 3 days after she went missing the first time to see if I'd seen her because they couldn't get a hold of her, neither could her parents. And I went off on him then, and he left in a hurry. He didn't want nothing to talk to me at all.
Yeah.
And then when Brian Treester and the KBI came over here, they parked clear out up the road, and I was over here working in my chainsaw shop. They parked clear out there, come running over there with their guns in their hand like I was going to do something. And I invited them here to interview me, and they acted like I was a damn criminal. And come over to arrest me, and that cop kept his, not Brian, but the other one, he kept his hand on his holster, or on his gun the whole time. And it was an hour-and-a-half interview. And he never once took his hand off of his gun. And I'm not the suspect, I'm the one that turned this in, and they treated me like a common suspect.
Did they ever question you or anything like that?
I had to ask them to question me, because, they didn't even think I'd have anything to say about this, and which is crazy because I'm the hub of this. I started this I don't know her family at all. I only met Megan, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks before she went missing the first time.
Yeah.
A handful of times is all I'd ever met her. And I've never met any of her family, except for her mom. And I don't know. I know her stepmom comes from Illinois. She's come down here several times. And with a lot of family members, her grandma was coming down here on these foot searches.
Oh, really? Wow.
For a whole weekend at a time. And I heard she's like, I don't know, 90? I don't know, but her friends and stuff around here aren't doing anything.
Yeah. That's what I
don't
kind
know.
of feel like.
I didn't go on their searches. I went on my own searches just because I had a different feeling than what they did.
You were familiar with him and his knowledge.
Right.
And stuff.
Oh, he showed me this place he used to slaughter deer down in Quivira, and that's the first thing that came into my mind, and I went down there. And there's no reason for anybody to ever be down there. There's nothing there. There's just nothing. And all of a sudden I'm driving down this little easement. It's not a road, but it's just an easement where the roads are laid out, but they're full of plum thickets and stuff like that. And they're unmarked. And there's a hole about that big around right in the middle, just off the side of the road. There's a whole bunch of branches cut on like 3 different trees, cut off just perfectly even with the trees. You could tell it was done by man. You could see boot marks. I took 35 cops down there. They didn't even get off their foilers. They said, that's an animal, and turned around and left. And I told them, you can see the boot marks. You can see a shovel print. They wouldn't do anything. They left. Well, I went down there at 11 o'clock at night, and I got to tell you, I was scared. I was scared because it just felt like somebody was watching me, and it's in the middle of nowhere, and it's 11 o'clock at night. And I dug that hole until I found a hard pan, and I was scared enough that I left and came back home, but I'd taken my dog down there. Okay, keep in mind, David and Megan got me my dog just 2 days before she went missing. The next day I went down there to daylight, and right next to the hole I dug was a dog that looked identical to mine dead. And that's that's when the sheriff told me to quit going down there by myself because I was going to end up missing, but they couldn't do anything about it. But maybe it's a coincidence, but it's an awful big coincidence.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for anybody to ever be there.
It's just, to me, I'm just like, gosh, I feel like so much was neglected, and now I don't know if they can ever catch up with it. And they're
Right.
so quiet about things, and maybe there's more to it now. Like, I mean, I know that, and it took them a while. They would never say David Madden was a suspect.
I know it personally. I know it until he killed
took his
himself.
life. Yeah,
Yep.
until he killed himself.
And how does that make him a suspect?
And that means that they knew. And granted, I get it. Like, sometimes law enforcement doesn't release that information to the public.
Right.
But I wonder, you know, do they do that to cover their backs?
Can I say something off the camera?
I wonder, like.
Can I say something off the camera?
Yeah, I just.
That maybe you can edit it out or whatever.
Yeah.
I went down after he got out of jail. I went down there 4 times at like between 2 and 5 in the morning because I was going to kill him. And they caught me 2 blocks away from his house every single time because they were watching him like a hawk.
Yeah.
And they told me the last time, they said, one more time, you're going to jail for this. So I quit going down there.
But at least they were keeping an eye on him, just in the
Right.
And I think from my understanding, and this might have been a newspaper article or something, but like they were looking at him because of the pipe bombs or something. Like that was their way to get access to stuff.
His ex that he held hostage, she let him in there and told him where there are 7 places that you could store people. They found 22 places that you could store people in that house that was hidden compartments. So maybe it's human trafficking is what they're led to believe at that point. I don't know where their stand is on that now, but why would you want to store people?
That's weird. I don't know. I mean, I'm just looking into it all, and like I said, the theme that I'm looking at is, since I can't get information about what's current, why don't we dig into the past and find out the flaws, the mistakes, the lapses leading up to her disappearance? And I'm going to bring up that 911 call in there. I even have, I mean,
I've never heard him. No, I've never heard him. I know I was doing some cussing on him, I'm sure.
I actually,
Because I lost service with him. I don't know how many times I had to keep calling him back.
But we didn't hear it, so.
Really? Well, that's good.
I know. Good job.
Because I was irate when I did that.
Oh, I probably would be too. Let me see if I can.
Well, I didn't have a driver's license and I wasn't supposed to have a gun because of being a felon at the time.
Yeah.
And I stopped at the sheriff's house. He didn't say a damn word about that.
Do you think maybe that's why law enforcement maybe disregarded stuff that you?
Maybe. You know, I used to be a business owner here for 22 years. I owned my own company.
Yeah.
And why they didn't take my word for anything, I don't know. Because I've got a good, decent reputation around here still. I mean, it's been a long time since I've been in business. But I've lived in this house for 51
I think I
years.
saw your stuff online somewhere. What was the business that you had?
Starnes Concrete Construction.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had it for 22 years.
That's
I've lived in this house for 51 years.
My phone, of course, is starting to do some weird stuff.
It's probably not getting any service.
No, it's
I know a lot of people their phones will search for service until their batteries are dead out here. We just got an antenna in Ellenwood just about a year ago, and that made a big, big improvement.
Oh yeah.
But it's still terrible.
Oh, I bet. Let's see if I can get this to record. I'm gonna turn this off and on. Hopefully it doesn't lose what I lose. I had my audio recording and I touched a button. And it might have hurt me. But I'll play it here. While I wait for that to turn on, I'm just gonna do a couple of this stuff. Let me play this out for you. It's a really, it took me, so I had to request this from the dispatchers with,
Reno, Rice, and Barton.
I think it was Barton County, I think, that gave me this. And granted, there probably are other calls or something. This was-
During that trip, it was Barton County, Reno County, and Rice County, because every time it would drop a call and I'd call back, it was a different county because of, well, or Tri-County area right here going to
I don't know
Alden.
if it'll be able to do it because of the internet. It's trying to get service in there. Well, I'm trying to think of anything else to ask you. Is there anything else that you wanted to say that maybe I didn't ask about?
I'm gonna say I'm
Anything?
sure there is. I'm really forgetful, but I got kicked in the head.
I think the important thing for me, I mean, I look at it and I'm like, you know, I just want, like so many others, I just want to find out what happened to her. You know?
Yeah,
And-
just some
and
closure.
people, I'm sure the theory is maybe she found a way out and she left. And
I don't think so.
You don't think so at all?
No. The only other scenario I can see is she's a slave in Asia or something, you know, on a boat, like they did so many times in Aruba, like particularly. That gal that died out there, the one guy confessed to a boat pulled up to their boat, and they unloaded her unconscious body onto it, and she's in Asia as a sex slave.
Yeah.
And you never know.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, but a lot do believe she's dead. And
I
it's
think
just
she's
a matter of
gone, yeah.
money.
Yeah. I know the Rice County Sheriff worked off of nothing but psychics stuff that they would get online and post, and that's what the cops would go off of in their searches, the Rice County Sheriffs,
Yeah.
off of psychics. I'm not that big of a believer in psychics myself. Wouldn't they win the lottery?
Yeah.
But I don't know. The psychics were involved in it from the get-go. I mean, Dawn, which is her stepmom, she was really into these psychics. And this one psychic was from Arizona or something, and having these premonitions. And all they were doing was Google Earth, and they were taking local pictures and saying, we think she's here. Because I started going around finding these places. Well, they're just different places, just random places out here. One of them was a gal's house over at Chase. I'm like, well, I recognize that swimming pool. And it's her place. It's just because it's Google Earth and it's in the same town.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
But I mean, that's what they did their searches off of, was the psychics' views on this in Rice County.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's been any searches since KBI took it that I know of. I'm sure, well, there probably has been that Ashley Duff. I know that she's big into searching, which I don't know who she is, but apparently she does some investigations on her own or something.
Like I know Treester has gone with her on searches before. I don't know so much after all of those, whatever the.
I was going to say, well, it was reported one time it was right next door to him
Yeah.
in Alden when he lived down there. I don't know if it's I don't know. There was a case, or there was a deal, somebody called in to bring Megan home, and they thought they spotted her in Ohio.
Oh really?
And as far as I know, nothing was ever even checked on the video cameras or anything at the convenience store. But I don't know why that wasn't. I'm sure they're swamped with tips, and you got to search through them, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
that seemed like a pretty legit tip, just for the circumstances of it. Because they said there was a group of girls came in, they were dressed like prostitutes, and they were going to some big function in the area up there. And the gal that wrote in said one of them looked just like Megan.
Wow.
But I'm pretty sure that nothing got investigated on that whatsoever.
Yeah.
But something like that is what's going to break the case, I think, if it's ever solved.
Yeah. If,
But,
you know.
Yep. He's got so many friends here that they know, and they just won't say
I just
nothing.
figured that his friends were afraid, you know. But now
They weren't afraid of him. He wasn't nothing but a wife beater. He wouldn't stand up to a guy.
Do you mind taking a look at the letter that she wrote you? And I mean, so I said right there. So when did she write this to you? What happened?
Let's see, this is dated
Yeah. I mean,
December 14th, 2014.
so this is right after, not too long.
This is
after.
the first time she went missing.
Yeah.
And after I got her back, because they wouldn't help. Do you want me to read it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It says, to my bestest friend, thank you for being there for me. I'm so sorry that I did not see that you truly cared and was only doing what a good friend would do. I want to thank you again sincerely for that too, but you got to understand when I say no one has ever treated me that way. I swear as long as we are friends, I'll never get that way again, I think is what it says. True and loyal friendship is rare it's hard to find. It's hard to come upon a friend who really does care. I'll be there, the bestest friend you ever had. Moments filled with only lots of laughs and only good news, good memories share. Hope that we never get part because our friendship just got to a start. Thank you again, and I'm so sorry to never again. I hope this is a lifelong lasting friendship. You're an amazing guy. I love you, buddy. Meg.
And you've kept that since.
Yeah, like I said, it was a piece of paper before, but since she went missing, I keep it under glass. And that's just so sad. But I didn't know the gal that well.
Yeah. But that was nice of her to write that for sure.
I thought it was pretty neat. It touched me. I sent a picture of it to her stepmom, and I'm sure she teared up over it.
Oh, I bet you she did. I bet you she did. Her mom or her stepmom.
Stepmom.
Yeah, her stepmom. I've talked to her over time. She's a little firecracker, but she's just.
She must be. She must be.
Mom. She's a good stepmom. So.
Apparently, yeah. She's going to find or see this to the end. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how close knit of or how big of a family that was, but boy, they were really into sports and softball and stuff.
Like, definitely.
I think they have a softball memorial or a memorial softball fundraiser type deal in Megan's honor every year in Oneida.
That's cool.